Hey guys, welcome back, and this is the part 2 of Laravel 10 roles and permission tutorial. So guys, as we have seen in previous video, we have created the complete roles CRUD operation and also the permission CRUD operation, and also about add or edit the permission for that particular role. Okay, so now guys, let's get started with creating the user CRUD operation and assign the multiple roles for that particular users. Okay, so now guys, let's get started. So let's move to this route called users and create this route. So yep, let's go to our web.php first and just create a resource route. So yep, route colon resource function. Inside that, just paste that URL called user, and now you have to call your controller. So what will be the controller? Let's create one controller, guys. First, let me comment this or else it will throw an error. So let's create a controller called user controller. So user controller, hit enter. Our user controller is created. Now you can access that. Let me align everything and let me close all the unwanted files now. Okay, so we are on the web.php. Now go to apps http controller where you will find your user controller. Let me copy the path and paste inside the route. So guys, let's paste here app http controller user controller class. That's it. And now it's connected with the resource route. Yep. Now you can go to your user controller, and guys, let us create a public function with the function name as index, open and close. Let's return and view the blade file. So which goes to the role hyphen permission. So and create a user folder inside that, call a index blade file. So let's move to resource views, and inside that views you have a role permission folder. Inside that role permission folder, create a user folder. Okay, and now let's create a index.blade.php file. Perfect. So our file is created, and now you will be able to access the route. Cool. So we are on the blade file, guys, and now let me just extend and add the format of layout, so you can go any of your files and just include that. Okay, so let's extend our layout, paste here, and yep, let me just copy everything and paste it. Okay, so first step, guys, we are just going to change the title like user users, and here user, change the URL to users / create, and then let us just change this username and display email also, and then action. So here change the variable to users, and what is our variable here? We have not passed it. Let's pass that users variable equal to user model get function. So you get the data, and now pass this variable in the array format here, pass users of $user, and now guys you can copy and access the users variable. Okay, now let us loop that users as user and get the user ID, username, and we need one more column, that is user email. So we get that user email, and let me remove unwanted URLs here. So we have a edit and delete button, so we can update the URL, I mean IDs here, and change the URL to users. Okay, let's copy this, paste here also. Perfect, done. And now let us see the output. Now refresh. So you see, okay, our model is not imported. Let's go. So here I import the class user. Okay, let's get back, refresh. Cool. So our user view is designed, guys. And now we can get started with add user. Click here, and it reaches to the URL like user / create. So guys, this is error like that create function does not exist because we are using a resource route. So it's giving that. Okay, so now let's get back and go to your web routes. So this is our user, which is a resource route, And inside this user controller, you have to create your create method or function. So guys, public function, the function name create, open and close curly brace. Let me just zoom it. So let's return view and go to the folder, that is role permission user folder. And inside that, let's go to create blade file. So guys, let's go to our, yep, let me arrange it. Let's go to resource views. Inside that, we have role permission folder, and inside that user, and let's create a file, create blade.php file. Okay. And now guys, you need to design the form like here in this user view. Let's get back and let me just copy from the role part like create blade.php. Let's completely copy and paste here. Done. And now guys, we are starting from the container row and column md12 and a simple card which start and ends here. And now guys, let's change the title, which is going to be user create user, and this is a back button where we are redirecting back to users. So when the form is submitted, you're going to the URL action called user with the method post, and here is your CSRF token. And now guys, let's give all the input fields whatever required for the user creating. Okay, so first it will be like your name, so let's keep this. Now copy and paste, paste, paste. Okay, so second is our email, and then third is our password, and fourth will be our roles. So all the roles you have to mention, like what all roles you can assign. So we can do that in a select option. So here I'll mention roles in array format because we are going to select multiple. So let me design this select as a form control. Here I'm form control and it is multiple. Okay, and now guys, here is the option, so you can list all the roles. So select role and use a for each loop to loop the roles of role, and use the option tag to open and close dollar role. And then guys, same thing, we are going to copy and paste in the value also. Done. And now guys, once we click on this save button, we go to the form action, which takes you to the user route. So let's go to the web.php, and here is our user route. So using this resource method, it directly goes to the store function. So let's create a function, public function. The function name will be store, open and close. And then guys, you are getting a request from the form, so get request of dollar request. And now let's create a user variable and call the user model colon colon create method, so we can get the details of the user. So guys, before creating the records, we need to do the validation. So for that, you can directly use here request of validate function, and inside this directly call all the fields like name equal to inside single quotes. Let's set the validation here. It is required, it is a string, and max will be 255. Okay, so same way guys, for other fields also, let me just show you what fields we have. One is name, then next is email, and then next will be the password, and finally a role. Okay, so you can just copy that and paste here. So password and then email. For the email validation, let's mention email instead of string and give a max value. And also you can add a unique and mention the table name users. The column field is email and accept ID is not required here. Now guys, the password here we are mentioning a string, and max will be, can mention at least 20, and minimum we have to give 8 at least. Okay, and then guys, finally we have one roles, that is you can copy and mention here like roles, and it is required. Okay, now coming back to our create method here. So first we are going to create a record for the user. So let me add the name column field from the user model and the value. So input request name, copy and paste, and it's going to be email. So copy and paste email and then password. Okay, so password is going to be hashed, so let us make it to like hash colon colon make function and paste that request of password. And now let's import this password hash. Okay, so I'll just show you. So this is my imported class for this hash. And now guys, we have created the user. So once user is created, you get the data. Okay, so you get the data here. And now let's use the function for assigning that. So you can find in your documentation. So here you see that we can use the sync role option also. And let me just show you in this using permission via roles. Okay, so assigning roles, here you see like you can assign single and multiple also roles at once, but we need to use the syncing part. And let me just show you where. Yep, here is it. So all current roles will be removed from the user and replaced by a given array. Okay, so it will just remove everything and it will update the new role for that. Okay, so let's copy this and get back and paste here. Perfect. So guys, our role will be synced here. So our roles are little different. So what we have to do, we have to get all the roles request. So let's remove this and just paste $request of roles. So this is nothing but your input field which you are getting in a array format. Okay, so you have got that and pasted here. So now guys, we can just redirect back. So return and redirect to the page users, and with the message let's set a status and tell user created successfully with roles. Okay, done. So guys, now let us test it. Get back to our browser, refresh once. Okay, we have our undefined variable roles. Okay, get back, and in this create method we have to pass $roles equal to all the roles colon colon, just use a get method to get all the role. Now import the role class, import, and here is your Spatie permission model role and imported. Now let's copy this and pass in the blade file. So this is my variable roles $role. Okay, so now let's copy this and go to our blade file and you'll be able to access this variable named roles. Now you can get back, refresh. Perfect. So here you see all the details are shown guys. So guys, we just need to show the name and we need to pass the name only. So for that we can get back and let's not touch here. Instead we'll work in the controller part itself. So while getting the role, I want to just pluck the and pass the name as a key and the value will be okay. So we are passing as a associative array here using this pluck function. Now let's save and get back, refresh. So here it's not able to get. So for that, let me try with all function and now refresh. Perfect. So it's working fine guys. So we can just select with the admin staff whatever you want to give. Yep, now let's try to save the data. So before that, let me just show you my users table here. So I don't have any users right now, and also the model has roles. So this model has role table is nothing but user has roles. So just understand this model as user. Okay, so user has roles of that, as simple. Now guys, let me create a super admin. So name will be super admin and super admin@gmail.com, password 1234567 and select the permission for the super admin, and also he will be admin. Okay, so now let's click on save. Cool. So user created successfully with role, and here you see your record has been inserted. So let me just show you in my browser, I'm in database. So here user has model table has two records, that is role 1 and 2, which is super admin and admin. Okay, so model ID is nothing but the user table ID. So you can just find that here, user ID. Let me create one more user, which will be admin, a normal admin. Okay, so admin at gmail.com, password 1234567 8, and just select the role admin. Okay, not super admin. Let's click to save. So here our user is created successfully, and we have two users. Let me just show you. Okay, user ID 2, and now guys, you can just go to your model has roles. So in that, you see we have one more new record, that is with the role ID 2. Okay, so here role ID 2, that means it is admin role and the user ID. And now guys, I want to show all the roles which we have added. I want to show in this user table view. So for that, just get back and go to your index blade. At this, I want to add a column called what roles you have. So add this roles, and let's create one td tag. And now guys, give a if condition, and we need to check that roles is not empty. So using a empty function, and here just add a not symbol. And now guys, what you are actually checking, like user roles. So dollar user of, you have to get that function name like get role names. So let me just show you in the documentation. If we go in this basic usage, we find there. So let me just move below and come below. Here we have like get the name of the user's roles. Okay, so you can copy this, which returns a collection, that it means it has an array data. Let's paste here. Okay, so we got the user, and now let us try to use this and loop the data. So first use for each loop, for each open and close curly brace, paste it. So we have got the user role name as dollar role name. Let's copy this, and you can just print in a badge or any design format. So let me just add a label here, open and close, and just paste that label names. And let me design this label as a badge. So badge hyphen primary, and just use mx1. And now guys, let's see the output. Refresh. Cool, we have got the data, but it's not visible. Let me just, so this badge classes has been changed in bootstrap 5. So let's try with something else. Refresh. Perfect. So here you see super admin and admin, and this user has only admin. Okay, and now guys, let's continue with how to edit the user data with its role. Okay, so now guys, let's get started. So for that, you have to create a edit function. Let's get back to our user controller, and now create a public function and the function name edit. So yep, so when we are editing, we are getting a ID. Let me just show you that. So this is my edit button guys, which we are sending ID in the URL. So you need to access it. So let's get back to our web.php, and if we are using a resource route, by default it provides us. Okay, so you don't have to worry. In this, you have to just mention like user dollar user. That's it. And now let's return, and let's see the output. So refresh. So now guys, let us click on edit, and yep, so we have got the user detail. Perfect. So now guys, let's get back. So let's get back, and we have got the user record. And now let us open a blade file. Like we need to go to that blade file for editing the user record. So let me just copy a path here and paste. And now let's make it to edit blade.php. Now you can get back to your folder, that is resource views role permission folder. Inside that role permission folder, let's create a edit blade file inside user folder. So yep, we have created the edit blade file. And now guys, let's copy the complete user create form and paste inside the edit blade form. Okay, and now guys, let's change the title here, edit user, and this will be the back button, and same form for the submission, but here we are going to pass the ID. So guys, let's concatenate / here and then mention that user of ID. We have to get the user variable, so you can just pass this a user variable like user of $user, and this $user we can just remove this and you can access the variable directly. Cool. So now guys, you see in this edit blade file we also have the variable called roles, so you need to create that also. Let me just add this $roles. So what are we doing actually here? We are just copying it. So let me just copy this completely and paste here. Done. And now guys, you can just pass this roles also. So copy and paste, and let me just paste the variable. Okay, now you will be able to access this roles detail also. And now guys, once we click on this edit form, we need to, by default you have to select the selected role, I mean given roles. So let me just show you in my example. Okay, let's refresh this. Cool. So we are on the edit user, and here we need to fill all the user details. Let me just get back and go to our edit blade file, user edit. So we are here now, and in this form let's add the value attribute and just paste $user of name. So let's copy this complete value attribute and paste for the email also. Yep, email, and email is not always changeable, so you can make it to read only. And here in the password you can just skip that. And now guys, coming back to the roles, we have to select the given role. Let me refresh. Okay, so we have the value here and we need to select, like super admin has the permission of admin and super admin. So by default you have to select. So for that, let's get back to the user controller. And now guys, let's select that user role. So user roles equal to, and then guys, you have to get the selected user data. So I have this user data here, and now I need to get all the roles of it. So you can handle that from this roles. You can just find it. So here you see you have roles with roles, so you can access, use this. Let's get back. So we have roles of, and use the pluck function, I mean the same thing, the same condition. Let's put it here, semicolon. Okay, so now you can pass this user roles and $user roles. Copy this variable and go to your edit blade file and just use in a in array format. Let me just break this down so it will be more clear. Okay, so option breaks here, and yep, so inside this use a in array function. So in underscore array function, first you have to pass your role and then comma and $user role. Okay, so if it is found, then you will tell like selected as null. So let's mention selected. Okay, so save it, and now guys, you can just get back, refresh. Cool. So you see that by default it is selected admin and super admin. And go back and just select for this admin user. Let's click here, admin user, and you see that role is admin. Okay, so now guys, let's begin with updating this user data. So yep, let's get back to our editor, and when you update this form, so let me change this button name as update. So update this user form with the role, it goes to the action, and this will be sent with the post method using a CSRF token, and also the route method which is going to be put. So mention the method which is put. Okay, and now guys, once you submit, it just goes to your web.php and checks in the resource route, and it will go to the update function. So we don't have an update function. Let's create it. Public function, function name update, open and close curly brace. And now guys, let's get the request, whatever we get from the form, request of $request, and then get the user model. Okay, so user of $user. Now guys, you can access the current user data. So $user of update function to update the user record. So let me just copy from above from the store. And yep guys, we have to do the validation also. So let me just first copy the validation and paste here, like $request and doing all this validation. We are going to remove this email part from the validation, like we are not accepting email only. Okay, and here to update the record we have to copy this fields. So let me just copy this and paste here. And now guys, we are not going to update the password also. So when we require that time only, we have to update. So this is going to be a conditional part. So guys, for that, I'm just going to create a variable outside, like, yep, data equal to inside array, we are pasting it. And let's merge the data here. Before that, I want to check, do we have any password or not? So we can just add not and make this as empty empty function. If it is not empty, then use this password as array here and append that. Okay, and make sure you're adding a plus symbol. So plus equal to you have to mention, so it will concatenate that. And now guys, finally whatever we get, we just add here $data. All set. So guys, we have done with the user update part, and now we have to also update the roles for this. Okay, so when you click what about this role, if I select admin and staff also, so at that time you have to manage that part also. Okay, so for that, the same syncing permission, you can just do it. Let me copy this and paste here. So once updated, you can sync the role, whatever request of role you get. Done. And now guys, let's redirect back once updated. So let me copy this and paste here, like redirect back to the same page and tell user updated successfully with the roles. Okay, so now let's save and get back. So refresh once. So here guys, this admin user have a role of admin, and let me add one more role, that is staff. And now let's click to update. So you see we have some issue. I think we have some validation issue. So let us just get back to our editor, and here just add each field, like below this input at error. Use the input field name attribute name here and just use in a span tag. Add a text danger and open and close curly brace $message. Let's copy this, paste for the email. Like we are not doing the email part, so just ignore that. We are working for the password, so we can update this password also, and also the roles part. So just paste this role. That's it. Now get back and refresh. And now guys, let's update once again here. Okay, the password field is required. So it's not mandatory while updating. So you can make it to nullable also. Okay, so just ignore that part. And now let's click to submit. Here you see user updated successfully, and I did not select the role. Let me select the staff also. Now update. Perfect. So here you see guys, for this admin user, you got the role as admin and staff too. Okay, so I can just show you here. Done. And now guys, finally about the deleting part, like delete the user. So let's go and yep, let's begin with the delete part. So you have to go to your index, and here is your delete URL. So let me copy this and create a route, because this route doesn't provide in the resource route. So you have to create it separately using a get method, and in that you provide this route. So guys, mention the ID, that is user ID, and it goes to a controller, which is about your user controller. So let's copy this controller path and paste here and give comma in single quotes and go to a destroy function. So let's copy the function name destroy and create a function with the same name. that is destroy function, open and close. And now guys, you are sending a dynamic ID, that is user ID, so you can access from this as a parameter. Okay, and now you get the user ID. So let's search for that user first, like user model colon colon find or fail function, and use this $id. And now guys, you can just use this $user and use a delete function to delete the user record. Perfect. And now guys, let's redirect back to the same page, which is users only, and update the message here, user deleted successfully. Okay, so I don't know, it is going to delete with the rules also. So let us see what happens now. So before that, let's go and refresh here. So let me add a new user like dummy user. So dummy at gmail.com, password 12345678, and select the role admin and staff, and user I give 3 roles. So yep, and you may see in your user model has roles, so you have total 3 roles for this particular user ID 3. Let's delete, click to delete. Perfect, so user deleted successfully. Let's see in our database for the users table, in the users, the user record is deleted. And now let's see in the model has roles. So here you see it automatically deletes it. Okay, so why? Because the Spatie package database design is written like that, so it will delete that record also. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. Perfect. So guys, we have seen about how to fetch the users with the roles and add the user and assign a role to that user, and also edit and update the user with its role, and also delete the user data. Okay,